Right, so we're working on a unit in proportion, and we're actually going to use proportion to be able to solve a percent problem. Now, most of you know that percent problems can be solved either through equations or through proportions, but our focus today is going to be on the proportion. So let's take a look and see what we can do. So here's a very typical what is of kind of problem. When we solve percent problems using a proportion, we're always going to use this method where we sort of set up the proportion ahead of time. Okay, and this is going to be, we call this the is number. That's really the part. Okay, this is the of number, and that's really the whole. Okay, so this is the part that you're looking for. This is the whole thing that you have. And then the percent is the number that goes over 100. Right? So I like to teach the kids just to think of it as is over of equals the percent over 100, because most of them can relate to that. They know that the is the partial. They know that the of is the whole thing. So let's see if we can do that with this problem. So let's clear this out. And we'll set this problem up. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to ask ourselves, do we know the percent? And in this problem, the percent's really the thing we're looking for, because 24 is what percent? So we don't know the percent. So where the percent would go would be our variable. That's the thing we're looking for. Now, we have to identify the is number and the of number, which again in this case is kind of simple. So we'll put our is number as 24, our of number as 60. And again, the is the part, the 60 is the whole thing. And now we have our choice. We can find the cross products. I prefer to reduce fractions whenever I can, just because it makes the numbers smaller and easier to work with. So let's reduce 24 and 60. Hopefully you can see 12 goes into both of those. So this reduces down to 2 over 5. And then some of you will already know what 2/5 is as a percent, but if you don't know, that's okay. So we're going to see how many times, excuse me, does 5 go into 100, and we would have to multiply that by 20. So that means for 2 to get to n, we're going to have to multiply that by 20, and 2 times 20 is 40. So n is equal to 40, and the answer to this question would be it's 40%. So 24 is 40% of 60. So that's your first what is of kind of a problem. But what if you're looking for a different part of it? So let's take a look at another example. Okay, so this time we don't have our of number. We don't have the total amount. So we have, again, set up our proportion. And again, you could do this before you start. So you should always have 3 blanks and then the 100. And then we ask ourselves, do we know the percent? And in this case, we do. Our percent is 22%. So we would put that in here. And our proportion is now half written. And the other thing that tells us is we're either going to have the is number or we're going to have the of number. So we'll either have the part or we'll have the whole thing. And once we know which one we have, that also tells us what we're looking for. So 38, our is number, which means obviously we're looking for the whole thing or we're looking for the of number. So we'll put that down here. And at this point, we're ready to solve. So we can, again, we can reduce or not if you want to. I mean, I like to reduce, just makes the numbers a little bit smaller. So 11, and then this will become 50. And now we're just going to multiply it out. So we get 11n is equal to 50 times 38, which is going to be 1900. And then we have to divide. So we'll divide by 11. Now, this again, this is one of those areas where I know sometimes, you get stuck with this. Especially, we're dividing by 11. If it doesn't go in evenly, that means we're going to have a repeating decimal. We're going to have 2 places that repeat. So we don't really want to get into that. So let's divide, but we're only going to divide up to the end of 1900. So we'll put a fraction wall there. That'll tell us, stop dividing, and let's just see what we have. All right, so 11 goes into 19. That's going to go in 1 time. we take 11 away, that's going to give us 80. So 11 goes into 87 times. 7 11s is 77. Take that away, and we're left with 30. 11 goes into 30 2 times. And 2 times 11 is 22. And that leaves us with 8. So we're going to have 8 11ths. So 38 is 22% of 172 and 8 11ths. That would be our final answer. Okay, let's look at one more example. I'm sure that you guys kind of figured out what it was going to look like because it's the only one that we haven't done yet. So again, set up our proportion. Do we know the percent? Well, yes, we do. Okay. Again, we're looking for one of the two numbers, the is number or the of number. This time we have the of number, which is the whole thing. And we're looking for this one. Okay, so why don't you pause the video here and see if you can do the rest. Okay, so hopefully from here what you did is you said, well, I can't reduce 73 over 100, so I'll find my cross products, and 100n, that'll be the easy one, right? That's this one. And then 80 times 73. 80 times 73 is 5,840. And then we divide by 100. Now, this one's kind of easy when you're dividing by 100, right? Because before we even get into dividing it, we can reduce this, okay? And then if we divide 584 by 10, that's going to be 58 and 4/10, which is 58 and 2/5. It would not be wrong if you had 58 and 4/10. That's also acceptable. I'm just kind of used to working with fractions. And with the exception of money, I think fractions kind of lends itself. It's a little bit easier to work with. So, all right, I hope this helped you to figure out how to find the percent problem, or to solve the percent problems using a proportion. Thanks for watching.